Asher Berryhill. I am from the Cabot Church of Christ in Cabot, Arkansas. An 8 to 5. The most common workday in the United States according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Wake up, eat, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Wake up, eat, work, eat, sleep, repeat. That word there in the middle, work. Dull, isn't it? But why? In the setting of an 8 to 5, it seems almost repulsive. But work shouldn't be something that we loathe or detest, but it should be something that we enjoy and do with a loving and humble heart, because our work is for Jesus. Philippi in the first century was not a great place to be as an early Christian. The amount of Roman persecution was through the roof, given that it was a Roman settlement. However, in spite of this, the church stayed very faithful and worked out the good news of the gospel. In chapter 2 of the book of Philippians, Paul is continually praising their work for staying faithful through the persecution from the Romans. He says in the second half of verse 15, "Children of God without blemish in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world." This verse is not only Paul's praise of the Philippians, but it can also be an example on how to live our lives as lights in the darkness. Now, I don't know about you, but this verse reminds me of the Sermon on the Mount, when Jesus is preaching about the light of the world in Matthew 5:14 through 16. "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." This points to another example of how we should be lights, but in a different light. See what I did there? Both of these verses show how the world is crooked and twisted, quoting Paul. But the last one is not solely saying that we shine as lights, but to go and shine our light to others. But in reality, it's not our light. This brings me to my second point. I'm not enough. Nobody is. We all fall short of the glory of God. Do you want to know something? Jesus still humbled himself and died for us, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Philippians 2:5-8. Jesus gave up true and pure godliness to serve and die because of a love greater than any other, the love of a true and faithful servant, giving us an example of a light in the dark. He came to serve us and work for us to the point of dying to serve and save us. If we are called to be imitators of Christ, then we should also work and serve. Paul says in Philippians 2:12-13, "Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, so now, not only as in my presence, but much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you, both to will and work for his good pleasure." Paul says in this verse to work out your own salvation, but he is not saying that works cause salvation, but that salvation causes good works for the Lord. Later in the verse, Paul says that it is God who works in you. So when you are working, it is God working through you to help and serve other people. This is important to remember because without Jesus' example and sacrifice, we would have no reason to do good works and benefit others, except for ourselves. If we are working for the benefits of others, then we are also serving God. But if we work for ourselves, we push ourselves away from God. Matthew 6:2-4 says, "Thus when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your giving may be in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." When you serve others, you can still be serving yourself if you are serving with a prideful and self-centered heart. Philippians 2:14-15 says, "Do all things without grumbling or disputing, that you may be blameless and innocent." If we are going to serve others, don't do it out of obligation or with complaining, because that's not true service or true work. That is you not wanting to serve and imitate Jesus, because you are either forced to do it or you're doing it because you want to fit in. That is not true work. You should work because you want to support and help those who need it, because that is the example that Jesus set. If you don't follow this example, it can lead to things that you do not want to happen. This brings me to my last, but definitely not least, piece of scripture. Matthew 25:34-45 says, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me.' Then the righteous will answer to him, saying, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you in, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?' And the king will answer to them, 'Truly I say to you, as you did to one of the least of these, you have done to me.' Then he will say to those on his left, 'Depart from me, you cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, you did not welcome me. I was naked, you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me.' Then they will also answer to him, saying, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger? When did we see you naked, or sick, or in prison, and not minister to you?' Then he will answer to them, saying, 'Truly, truly, I say to you, as you did not do to one of the least of these, you have not done it to me.'" We should work out of a good heart and serve all of those around us, because when we serve others, we are also serving God. Ultimately, that predictable 8 to 5 routine doesn't have to be a dull cycle of survival. When we shift our perspective and see that work is a marvelous gift from God, a daily platform that He has given for us to glorify Him in all things. Our jobs, our chores, our service, they're not burdens that we have to endure, but they are opportunities to shine as lights in this terribly dark world. We don't work to earn salvation. We don't work to win human applause. Instead, because Jesus first humbled Himself and to serve and save us, we now echo and repeat His love through our daily works. When we carry out our tasks without grumbling, putting the needs of others before our own pride, our ordinary workspaces become sacred ground. Tomorrow, when the alarm goes off and the routine begins again, remember that you are not just clocking into a job. You're stepping into a calling. Every task, every interaction, and every project is an assignment from Jesus. This week, I encourage you to find a place in any act of service you do, your work, your job, your house, even your family. You can use that to apply the love and service of Jesus.